first Cartier Concours d'Elegance was held in Mumbai back in 2008. As an internationally recognized event, it drew a lot of attention towards the rich motoring culture that India has to offer. Now, in its second edition, the show has moved from Mumbai to Delhi. However, the flavor still remains the same. The display of pure Indian motoring grandeur.
The Cartier Travel with Style 2011 is a one-of-its-kind international repute auto event. The highlight this year in Delhi is a focus on the British motoring era, a time in history that is intertwined with India's own motoring heritage.
With the aim to highlight India's rich motoring heritage and its many facets, the Cartier's Concours d'Elegance is a showcase of some of the finest and most lavishly built cars. Most of these purebred cars were shipped to India on the request of some or the other Maharaja. And they normally had their cars built with specially commissioned lavish bodies designed by coach builders from across the globe. The result being these wonderful cars that are a throwback to Indian history as much as they are to motoring history. To make things more exciting this year at the Cartier Concours d'Elegance, it was decided that all the vehicles have to be in proper working condition. Basically, their engine should crank over and they should be able to drive around the grounds. With cars dating back to the early 1900s, it sure was a sight to see them on the move.
It wasn't until 1959 that India had its own auto industry. Prior to that, it was all about imports, and it was the erstwhile Maharajas of the time who were busy importing luxury cars from across the world. Indian car heritage, as we like to call it, have marks such as the Rolls-Royce and Bentleys and the Mercedes-Benz involved in it, for the simple reason that the Maharajas brought these into the country and, using their money, lavished upon these vehicles and created cars that were totally grand with a very Indian touch. We get to see those cars at this event.
The vehicles present at the Concours contest for a number of prizes, including the coveted Best Car of the Show award. Each owner has taken great pride in their machine, and putting together a show of this nature takes the job of Superman, for each vehicle has to be scrutinized and its originality verified before it enters the show. We caught up with His Highness Manvendra Singh of Barwani, who is also incidentally the curator of the show, to tell us more.
To put together an event of the class and the scope of this Cartier Travel with Elegance series requires a man at the helm who knows cars, who knows where they are hidden, how they could be got out, how they could be put back into shape. And it's a thankless job to most mortals in this world. And that, I think, is something which Manvendra Singh Barwani faced for sure. Isn't it right, Manvendra, when you put the show together?
Absolutely right. Yeah? I think in a way, I'm kind of digging my own grave.
So, Manvendra, tell us about the 1911 car and how you managed to get it back into some semblance of...
Well, the Hyderabad family has been most kind that they allowed me to touch the car of this magnitude. It was destined to go to England, but they trusted me with it, which is a very big thing for a band like me. I would say it's for my career, it's like touching the Taj Mahal. So that sums it up.
doubt, every single vehicle here is exquisite, done in an impeccable finish. However, there are a certain few that do stand out amongst the rest. These highlights are going to be shared with me with none other than Adil, who's here with us today. Hi, Adil.
Hi, Vikram. We are standing in front of one of the most revered cars, not just in Indian royalty, but also in Rolls-Royce history. This is the 1911 Silver Ghost, the low-line, low-bonnet look, which was chassis number 2117, and it was the first state limousine ever crafted by Rolls-Royce. The body design was commissioned by Rolls-Royce to the Barker coach builders, and it was ordered by His Exalted Highness the Nizam of Hyderabad. This car did a lot of state duties. If you see the fittings inside, the brocade upholstery came from France. A load of accomplishments there, the original speedometer, the other electric fittings, everything, even including the original horns, the lights, the CAV lights, everything was intact. But unfortunately, it lay dormant and locked up in the Hyderabad garages for almost about the last 5 decades. And then suddenly when this Cartier thing came up, they said we needed a standing jewel across to exemplify this event, a real standout car. The representation was made to the Nizam's family, and they graciously allowed the car to be restored. And what you see is the result of painstaking restoration done very quickly over a period of just about 4.5 months to bring it back to something close to its former glory. In a sea of Rolls-Royces, Bentleys and other British metal, it's always very refreshing to see something else from other countries in Europe. This Lancia, a prime example of the Lambda series from 1931, just the second owner from new, Hormuzji Kama, well-known automobile enthusiast and collector. Hormuz, great car you seem to have here.
Thanks, Adil.
Tell us about the car, tell us about its previous owner.
Well, I don't know much about the previous owner except that he was a Maharaja in the jungles of Bihar in Dumrao. But he had the car from new. After which, as you are better aware than I am, I got it. The car was a mess. The car now runs as it should.
It's all glitz and glamour at Cartier show. However, there are the owners of the cars who are here not for the fine wine, but with their eyes firmly fixed on the coveted trophies. As any high-end show, the prizes at such functions are in high demand. And now that we've taken a look at the numbers of cars present, it's finally time to get down to business. At this year's Cartier's Concours de Elegance event, the organizers have ushered in a total of 7 trophies to be won. With over 56 cars competing in 7 categories at the event, the judges surely had their work cut out. Each car had been scrutinized over the 2-day event in order for the judges to make an informed decision. As for the car owners, they had to ensure that their vehicles were in running condition as a prerequisite to the event. The competition itself was rather tough. For some of these cars have been buried under the sands of time for a couple of decades. And for many of them, this is the first time that they've ever been displayed at an international level show.
You must be wondering, how in a sea of gloriously restored, gloriously preserved cars, what am I doing here with a car which doesn't have its chrome intact, paint has faded out? But this is one of the great cars at the show. This is a Steyr from the late 1930s. with a 6-cylinder engine designed by none other than Dr. Ferdinand Porsche. Yes, you heard that right, when he was working for Steyr. It is from the Dungarpur royal family. It was bought new in that time. It is still a great runner, purrs like a cat. The engine just really is sheer music to the ears, and overall this is a sort of class right now which is prevailing and getting quite a lot of traction all over the world in concours events at Pebble Beach, at Goodwood, at the Villa de Est. This is known as the preservation class.
In order to make a well-informed and solid decision, the panel of judges included the likes of His Royal Highness Prince Michael of Kent, Sir Anthony Bamford, Sir Michael Kaduri, Gordon Murray, Olivia Martinez, amongst other people, who spent 2 days surveying the cars, getting to know their provenance, authenticating stories with the curator of the event, His Highness Rana Manvendra Singh of Barwani, and finally making the decision. Walking away with top honours was the exquisitely restored 1911 Rolls-Royce low-bonnet state car that was commissioned by the Nizam of Hyderabad. Brilliantly restored to an immaculate condition and done up in a bright yellow, the car was indeed a showstopper, and the craftsmanship it displayed was carried out to the finest detail.
It's been a celebration out here in Delhi at the Cartier event with these fine vintage beauties, classic beauties, roadsters, you name it, all doing their job. Yes, the Nizam of Hyderabad's Rolls-Royce has walked away with the top honours at this year's Cartier event, and we sure look forward to the next one in 2 years' time.